Hello, my students of class 7. I hope all of you are doing very well. Today we would be doing English literature again. In grammar, we have already done one chapter and one chapter is already done. So one more chapter is left, which we would be doing very soon. Okay. Today, let us enjoy that story that we started, Gopal and the Hilsa fish. Okay, so we all know that it's a comic. Okay, it's a humorous story in comic strips. It's a very humorous, very funny story, and not just the element of humor you will find. You will also find the wit of Gopal. Okay, wit, intelligence of Gopal is also very much apparent in the story. Okay, so we will find out how Gopal is able to keep his challenge. Remember, let us recapitulate what we did. The story, the beginning of the story, we came across the big Hilsa frenzy. Okay, the Hilsa frenzy, which was making the king very irritated. Frenzy. Okay, that means craze for Hilsa. Everybody were crazily demanding Hilsa. They were just talking about Hilsa and nothing else for days. Everybody were discussing about Hilsas. They were discussing the prices, comparing the prices, and even the courtiers of the king were also talking about the same thing, how they were catching big Hilsa fish and how proud they were feeling about it. Now, naturally, the king was very, very irritated and bored with the same conversation over and over again. So what did he do? He asked Gopal to take this challenge. What was the challenge? Look at page number 37. Let me see you buy a huge, at the last strip which is there, page number 37. Look at page number 37. Okay, the last strip, comic strip which is there, look at that and see the challenge. What is the challenge? Let me see you buy a huge Hilsa and bring it to the palace without anyone asking you a word about it. And Gopal says, I accept the challenge, Your Majesty. So let us write it down. You can write or you can just underline in your book what the challenge is. What is the challenge given to Gopal? The challenge is to buy a Hilsa fish. To buy a Hilsa fish, bring it to the palace without anybody asking him a word about it. Okay, so this is the challenge. What is the challenge? To buy a Hilsa fish, to bring it to the palace and without anybody asking a word about it. Nobody should ask Gopal a word about the Hilsa fish. That is the challenge. And Gopal accepts the challenge. Now turn your page. A few days later. This is a domestic scene between Gopal and his wife. Why is your face half shaven? So Gopal is saying, Gopal has already thought of the trick. Okay, he is very clever, very intelligent, very witty. It's a unfortunate thing that we remember Gopal Bhar only as a comic hero. He is not just a comic hero. He is not just a comedian. He is also very intelligent, very witty. Okay, look up the word witty in dictionary. What is the meaning of witty? I think most of you know about it, right? Those of you who don't know, look up the word witty and look up the word wit. What is wit? How is it different from humor? Okay. So, look at Gopal and he's saying, I'm dressing up to buy a fish. Okay, he's dressing up by half shaving his face. Half of his face has got the beard, but the half power portion doesn't have any. So, he's just dressing up like that. Now his wife is saying, "What's the matter with you? Why are you smearing yourself with ash?" "I told you I'm dressing up to buy a Hilsa fish." So what are the things that he does? First of all, he shaves his face half. Secondly, he puts ash over his face. Okay. Smearing ash means covering his face with ash. Not just face, his body also. Okay. It is not mentioned if just the face. So he's just using ash over his body. "Listen to me, please. You can't possibly go out in those disgraceful rags. What are you up to? Look, Gopal has dressed up like a street urchin, like a beggar, okay, like a person, homeless person. He has dressed up in rags. Rags means this kind of clothes, not proper clothes. Dirty as well as torn clothes he is wearing." So if I ask you, what are the 3 ways in which Gopal prepares himself to go and buy Hilsa fish, what will you tell me? Firstly, you will tell me that he shaves his face half. Secondly, you will tell me that he smears himself up in ash. And the third thing which you'll tell me is he dresses up in rags. He dresses up in rags. Okay. "How many times must I tell you, woman? I am out to buy a fish. A huge Hilsa fish." It's happened to him now after he leaves. His wife is saying, it's happened to him. She's thinking actually. See these dots and then a cloud is given in the comic strip. It means that the character is thinking. Okay, it's not something that she's saying out loud or speaking out loud, but she's thinking. It's happened to him. He's gone mad. He has completely lost his sanity. Okay. He has completely lost his sanity. So it's a it seems to be a very interesting thing which Gopal is going to do. Let's look at the next page. Gopal goes to the market. He bought the Hilsa fish and started walking towards the palace. Now this man, he is walking in that fashion. Okay, he's strutting about and everybody is looking at him because not only is he dressed in rags, but also he has shaved his face in half. He has smeared ash over himself. So he looks very comical. Now a little boy is saying, "Mother, look at that man. Isn't he comical? That is, doesn't he look very funny? Look at the man." Then everybody, he has bought that huge Hilsa fish. So you can understand the trick that he is doing, right? You can understand it? Yes, I think you can understand it. That is, he has made his appearance so much more conspicuous, so much more interesting for the spectators that they have forgotten the fact that he is carrying a Hilsa fish. He is looking so much like a mad person without a proper home. He looks like a beggar as well as a mad person. So nobody has any intention of going to ask him in a friendly manner about the fish, but rather they are taken aback. They are surprised and shocked by his appearance, and that is the reason nobody is questioning him about the fish. He must be a madman. Look at this strip. See how the men are talking. The men are talking, "He must be a madman." Another person is saying, "Hush, I think he's a mystic." Mystic means a religious person or a spiritual person. Maybe he's just a sannyasi. He has left home. He has no attachment with any worldly. He doesn't have any worldly ties. He has attachment with nobody. So he has forgotten to even think about his dress and his appearance. Okay, one of them is saying he's a mad person. The other person is saying he's a mystic. So this question I can also ask you, what were the people thinking of Gopal as he was walking towards the palace? Okay. Next, when Gopal reached the court, the guards at the court were asking him, "What do you want?" "I want to see the king." "You can't see the king. Get away with you." That is, you are probably a mad person. You are just a homeless person loitering about. Why will we allow you to look at the king, to talk with the king? You will not get that chance. So they are ordering him to go away. Gopal began to dance and sing loudly. He thought that let me get more attention towards myself, even more than my appearance. So what did he do? He started dancing and singing. Okay. This seems to be such an interesting chapter, but we have to stop today's lesson in this strip, page number 39. Okay, we have done till this one. I think all of you have already completed reading this story. Very amazing and very amusing story of Gopal. Now we have already understood the trick that he is using. Now we will find out how the king reacts to him. Okay, till then, study well and stay safe.